Where's Faith? We're not going to wait for him. He's going to be fetched. We told him. Who's fetching? Have you got his phone number? Yeah, call him. Yeah.
You do. Good afternoon, members of the media. Can we start with this press conference just as a formality, please? Note that this is an international press conference. So you've got 4 languages. French is 1, English 2, Arabic 3, Portuguese 4. And thank you very much for joining us for this post-executive committee press conference. Can I just ask everyone else at the back who's just talking to please keep quiet? We'll be here briefly because we've got to go to the final very soon. Now, please hand over to the president of CAF, Dr. Patrice Motsepe, to give us an update of the executive committee. Mr. President, merci.
Thank you. Sorry, have you got, Leticia, where's my agenda? Here. Okay. Let me start by thanking all of you for being here and welcome you, and as well as thank you for the good work that you're doing, because the media is very important for the work of making our people in Ghana and in the continent aware of the development and growth of football on the continent. And we set very high standards in terms of our expectations and where we would like to see African football now and into the future. One of the important things we did today was to deal with several issues, at the heart of which was to make sure that football in every one of the 54 African countries grows, develops, and it's globally competitive and self-supporting and financially self-sustainable, and also to make sure that that the quality of football of our national teams that participates in the AFCON and in the CAF competitions are world-class. There was a lot of good progress on all the CAF competitions, and we will be having a follow-up EXCO meeting quite soon to deal with several issues that I'm not going to discuss now because I've discussed them in the past. I really want to thank my brother Kurt and just say how proud I am of the good work he's doing, and I'll say to Kurt what I say to every other president in every other nation in Africa: when the Black Stars wins, we are happy. So you're doing good work. And sometimes this is football. I've got a friend whose country has won the World Cup many times, and they didn't qualify. Italy won the World Cup 4 times, I think. And he says to me every time that the Italian national team doesn't perform well, there are big challenges, but when they succeed, the whole nation is very happy. So thanks for the good work. And also I want to thank our head of state, President Mahama, for the meeting we had, and he's an outstanding leader and is doing excellent work. And his commitment to supporting football in Ghana and to work together with our brother Kurt is excellent news for the future, because we do need this partnership between government and football in every one of our 54 countries. So the future of Ghanaian football and the future of African football is bright. The other thing I want to deal with very quickly is just to express my gratitude to the new leadership of CAF, and this is what I want to focus on. There are many other issues, we'll deal with them in the future. Progress on the financial side, progress on governance and transparency and ethics and integrity. But I also want to introduce the new leadership, the new vice presidents that have been endorsed, that has been appointed, that has been approved, and I'm very happy to start with. I think let me start from the back. We are going to have the fifth vice president is the president of football in Mozambique, Faisal Sidat, and he's not just doing excellent work in Mozambique, but has contributed enormously to the development and growth of football. But what I also like is we are also sending a message to the other countries in Africa that are Portuguese speaking or Spanish speaking, that the beauty of African football is our diversity that enriches us. We are all Arabs. We all speak Swahili. We all speak, what is it, Wolof? Wolof? Wolof. We all speak Wolof. We all speak all of the beautiful languages. We are all all the races, different racial backgrounds and ethnic backgrounds. That's the beauty, and that's what enriches us. And we embrace and develop it, and our commitment to unity and cooperation is enormous. And that's a legacy we want to leave for our children. And we are doing this through football and work together with everybody else. So he's our fifth vice president, and we have promoted, and the first female vice president was first vice president, so now we are taking them to fourth vice president, and at some stage they will be the president. CAF is going to have a female president. So she is our madame. Veron just always changes her name. She's our leader, one of the most outstanding leaders of football from the DRC, Madame Bastine. Bastine. Veron changes your surname all the time. And we are so proud of the excellent work she's doing. And you must tell President Tshisekedi that we are so proud of the work that we are doing. We love DRC is in our heart, and all of the countries in Africa in our heart. Can we clap hands? She's the fourth vice president. Thank you. And our third vice president is our brother, my brother from Gabon. Really one of the most outstanding leaders and has many years of experience. President Pialan, you must wear that translation. Our third vice president, Pialan Mungengi from Gabon. Can we please clap hands for him? And our second vice president is homegrown. One of our most outstanding and has made enormous contribution to football in Ghana and on the African continent. And we are so proud that, when I arrived here, Ghana didn't have a vice president. When I'm leaving here, Ghana has a second vice president. Our brother Kurt, who's president of football here, is the second vice president of CAF. And the first vice president of CAF has really done excellent work over many years and is reflecting that the deep commitment of his country, of his people, and of His Majesty King Mohammed VI. May God assist him. And I'm personally very proud of the work that my first vice president is doing, and I'm confident that the AFCON in Morocco is going to be the most successful, and all of the competitions are going to be enormously successful. And I want to introduce the first vice president, Mr. Fawzi Lakja from Morocco. Thank you so much. So we can go now, eh? We can go. But I'm told I should allow you to ask questions. So we'll take a few questions, and then just once more, my deep gratitude to all of you, and keep up the good work. Keep the media, keep the good work that you're doing within the media, and the good work to develop football in Ghana and on the continent. So we'll take a few questions and then we will proceed.
Mr. President, just the media wasn't necessarily invited earlier on. Earlier on, you met the head of state of Ghana. Just you can reflect on that meeting, just to the media here, President, today.
Yeah, I don't want to say more than what I've said.
They were not there earlier.
Yeah, but I'm saying that I'm saying now what I said. No, all I'm saying is that, and I'll repeat it because I also follow instructions. You know, I pay his salary, but I have to follow his instructions. I don't know how these things work. You know, I thought the people who pay my salaries, I've got shareholders. I'm going to listen to what they say. But thank you so much, Lux. No, I just want to repeat what I said earlier. I am so thankful and so proud of the commitment of President Mahama and his commitment to work together and the work that he's been doing. And you know, I've been watching what has been happening, and I also saw the work that he did as the previous head of state. And that's why I concluded by saying that I'm grateful to him, I'm grateful to the government, and I'm grateful to the people of Ghana and to the people of the continent. Okay.
Thank you, President. Well, please, can you just raise your hand? I will start with the gentleman here in the second row. Or maybe let me start with the lady here in front from Cameroon. And then we start with you.
Yeah.
Is there a roving microphone there?
You can ask questions in any language you want. Yeah?
We start from Cameroon and then afterwards we come to Ghana. Okay.
D'accord. Bonjour, Monsieur le Président de la Confédération africaine de football. Je suis Priscille Messéné, journaliste au Cameroun. Alors, nous sommes très heureux d'un nouveau vice-président de ce nouvel exécutif. Est-ce qu'on peut avoir une idée des nouveaux têtes des commissions et des commissions de la Confédération africaine de football? Et pourquoi pas peut-être parler de ce projet de développement du football africain lors de la dernière Assemblée générale élective de la Confédération africaine de la CAF? Vous avez parlé justement de ce budget d'1 milliard de francs CFA pour remobiliser les fédérations, pour développer, accélérer le développement du football africain, notamment par Savrin Fa, qui est la CAN. Qu'est-ce qu'il en est effectivement? Merci.
Thank you. You reminded me. I had such a wonderful time in Cameroon, and one of the decisions that I've taken is Samuel Eto'o is the new chairman of the Technical and Development Committee. And Samuel Eto'o is somebody that all of us are very proud. All of us are Cameroonians, all of us are Ghanaians, the people of Cameroon are proud, and the people of Africa. And I'm confident he's going to do an excellent job. So the technical committee looks at how do we make sure that African football becomes the very best. So when they said a question from Cameroon, I just remembered that the president of football in Cameroon is doing excellent work, and that's why I've asked him to be and EXCO appointed him to be the new chairman of the CAF Technical Committee. Now, on the question of the 1 billion, she asked about the $1 billion. Good progress, and we discussed it in EXCO. We'll make announcements in due course, and the process now of evaluating tenders that we have received is underway. Because the aim is to make sure that, you know, when I became president, every member association used to get 200,000. They're getting 400,000 now, but it's too small. And the hope and the objective is to get it to 1 billion. And as I said, there are issues about COMESA in terms of the length of agreements, and we've got to comply with that. But we'll make announcements in due course. Next question, quickly.
To you in a minute, I promise you. Just the lady there, and then I come to you, I promise.
Hello, Mr. President. Welcome to Ghana. My name is Alexis Laura. Nice meeting you again. So my question is about the new executive committee. How can the new executive committee ensure fair representation and tailored development strategies for diverse regions across the continent? And earlier, you also mentioned accountability. I'd like to know what mechanisms CAF is putting in place to ensure transparency and accountability with regards to development funds and football projects.
Okay. I'm going to ask my vice president. He's been listening very carefully to your question. He will answer the question about the first part of your question. And the first Vice President Fauzi will answer the question about the development funds. How can we make sure that there's more development funds for football development? So you will ask our brother, you can press the button to answer the first question. Press the button. You see, they were disturbing him. He didn't hear your question.
Sure. My question is about ensuring fair representation and tailored development strategies for diverse regions across the continent.
Okay. Yeah, it's on. It's on.
I was just saying in our language, the question is too much. But on a more serious note, I think that the leadership under President Mosepe has over time already demonstrated that he's an all-inclusive leader, he's an all-engaging leader, and he's been working closely with the leadership, the then leadership, and he's prepared to work with the current leadership to ensure that all or everybody within the 54 African nations are truly taken care of in respect of representation, in respect of decision making. Thank you.
Fauzi, how can we work together to ensure that there's greater financial resources for football in Africa?
Non, en tout cas, je me permets quand même d'exprimer mes vifs remerciements pour le président de la fédération ghanéenne, pour le peuple ghanéen, les autorités ghanéennes, de l'accueil toujours exceptionnel qu'on reçoit ici au Ghana. Les moyens financiers dont le football est un élément fondamental, puisque le développement du football ne pourra passer que, évidemment, par la mobilisation de plus de moyens. Je pense que ce souci vous préoccupe, Monsieur le Président, depuis votre venue à la CAF. On a fait du progrès. Ce qui est important, c'est que les marges du progrès sont énormes. On pourra faire mieux. On doit le faire. On doit faire mieux. Depuis longtemps, on a parlé de la mobilisation des budgets nécessaires pour la mise à niveau de l'infrastructure. C'est essentiel. Et puis, il faut recourir à d'autres mécanismes de financement innovants. Et il faut quitter la logique classique qu'on a besoin de l'argent liquide pour le distribuer. On a besoin de créer d'autres mécanismes, de recourir à des prélèvements sur le marché, sur des maturités de 30 ans. On a besoin de travailler avec des OPCI pour mobiliser évidemment l'argent des investisseurs et répondre aux exigences de développement actuelles, urgents dans notre continent, parce qu'on est le continent qui a le potentiel footballistique. On a besoin donc de travailler ce potentiel pour évidemment être dans le carré des grands, pour assurer le leadership footballistique mondial. Merci.
Merci, President. I'm just going to take a few questions. We've got about 5 minutes or so in this press conference, and then we'll have to move. You remember, we've got the final today at 3 o'clock, so we'll have to move there. If you can, sorry, Ibrahim, if you can give to the gentleman there, please, quickly. Thank you.
And part of the problem is that state going to be at the stadium, so he can't arrive before us. He must find us there.
Okay, please. One question, please.
President, my name is Razak Musbah, and I'm with Joy News here in Accra. Sometime in December, there was some violence that broke out during the football game in Guinea, where some 50 people were reported dead. And sometime in April also, in a CAF Champions League game in South Africa, there was some violence that broke out between fans of Esperance and Mamelodi Sundowns. Even in Ghana, we had our share of violence, which resulted in the death of a fan. I just want to know to what extent you've been concerned about the spate of violence in our game and beyond the protocol, the existing protocols which the Ghana Football Association has instituted, even enhanced it. Beyond these, what is it that you want to do to try and nip this in the bud so that we don't encounter some of these incidents?
Very, very good question. And in fact, I was asked the same question in South Africa when a few days ago when we were announcing our partnership. And we are steadfastly committed to ensuring that stadiums are safe and are places where our football spectators and fans and supporters can feel comfortable and in an environment of safety, including health. And part of what we're doing is to look at what we call best practices. Because to have a single fan injured at a stadium is something that we do not want to experience under any circumstances. And worse still, to have a single fan at the stadium lose their lives is something that we can never take enough precautionary measures. And that's why the starting point is to look at what other countries are doing and where and in which stadiums and in which environments have the most safe environment being created for the spectators. So there's an ongoing process, and I think in CAF, at the Secretariat, there's engagement and an assessment to see what's happening in Europe and to see what's happening in other parts of the world. But the determination and the commitment is very deep, very steadfast. Thank you very much.
To the middle, 2 questions. We'll go to Mamadou from there.
Yeah, he has a special status, you know. Okay, continue quickly. We have
Okay, Mr. President, thank you very much. My name is Selassie, a women's football advocate. Women's football in Africa has seen enormous growth under your reign, and personally, I'm grateful for that. But there's one thing I've seen to catch my eye in terms of women's football in Africa is that most of the women's national team tend not to have so much game time unless there's a competition coming. Is there a way? Is there any plan for CAF to ensure or to encourage national teams to make their female national teams to play more games during the international window? A typical example is the Nigeria Super Falcons, whom 2 windows in, although we have few months to the women's AFCON, have not really participated in international games this year yet. Also, does CAF have any plans of increasing the participating teams in the CAF Women's Champions League? And then finally, talking about the Champions League, is there also a way of making the women's premier leagues in Africa or across Africa more professional across all the 54 federations of Africa? Thank you.
which vice president wants to answer? Anyone? You want to answer? If it's difficult, I give it to Fauzi. Yeah. No. I mean, enormous success has been made with women's football, but just like I told you, we are giving the member associations, we've doubled what they used to get. It still is not enough. So there's a lot of interventions and plans and programs that are underway. And I think there has been enormous success over the last few years, but in relation to what is required, there's still a lot more that we can and a lot more that we will do. Next question.
Mamadou?
Specifically on women's football, that's a very important
Okay,
message.
my name is Guy Mamadou. Yesterday we followed the semi-final of the CAF Champions League. The question that arises is, where is it going to take place, the final, in Africa or outside Africa?
Did you say CAF Champions League?
Yes, the CAF semi-final Champions League yesterday. Now Mamelodi Sundown will play Pyramid in the final.
Yeah, but it has to be in Africa.
Because sometime it take place in Qatar.
Oh, no. I hear, but no. Excellent question, Mamadou. And let me say, I'll say the same thing I said about Andy. There are times when I'm in the plane and I listen to the good work that you're doing. I'm very proud of the questions you ask and a lot of the criticisms you raise as well, which is very important. And you must continue because this is how we develop football and grow it. The Super League is the one that we sent to Saudi Arabia. And the simple thing there is because the money that they're offering is so much. It's a lot of money. And the two clubs that were involved, the opportunity for them to Saudi was enormously attractive. But our number one obligation is to Africa. And we really, every single one of, I think this thing is not good, eh? It comes in, well, that's fine. So we really want every single one of our competitions to take place. So the Champions League is going to be in Africa. It is the Super League. And when clubs come to me and say, President, you know, we stand a chance of making $1 million more or even more. And it also allows us to increase the prize money. And all the expenses are covered. And in Saudi, there's a big community that supports Al Ahly and supports Zamalek, and they want to go and play there. You know, we have to listen to those things because that's what the clubs want, and they want to grow African football in those areas, which is excellent. But what we are clear is that our number one focus and our number one responsibility is to host our competitions on the continent, to have our fans come to the stadium in the continent, and to develop and grow football on the continent.
Mr. President, with your permission, because of time, can I take the last question so that we can wrap up the press conference?
I'm just worried about the head of state, as I said, we don't want to.
Just the gentleman there, you will have the last question. We will go to the stadium. We might do a mix zone there if time permits, if that's okay for all of you, okay? We will permit a mix zone after the match at the game. Please go ahead, sir.
We can hear you, just talk.
Okay. Thank you so much. My name is Nathan Kwa. I work with Sporty FM. My question has to do with the zoning for the youth age, for the age competitions. There are some people who like the zoning qualification route, qualify through WAFU or SECAFA and all of that. There are those who say that it doesn't allow the best teams to ultimately get to the AFCONs or the World Cups and all of that. Dr. Motsepe, what will be your response to those arguments, and what will CAF say to the people who say it's a bad idea to play qualifiers through zones?
You know, this is the problem with democracy. I mean, I don't like Ghana playing Cote d'Ivoire, playing Nigeria, and now even Burkina Faso. I mean, now, because I want Ghana play some nation, I don't know. In Africa, they are all dangerous. So not in the continent. I need Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, these nations that have made us proud. I want them to go and play against the best in the world. So you raised a very good question. And we are looking at those things as how do we make sure that that we really get the best of Africa competing with the best in the world. And we have to treat everybody fairly and equally and justly. But those people who say that we have the best African nations competing against themselves and some of the best that can win for us in the world, we eliminate them on the continent. So it's a very important question you raise, and it's getting attention on our side to make sure that we really allow the most talented on the continent to compete and represent us against the best in the world.
Thank you, President.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. I don't like long press conferences. Okay.
Okay, pack it to the other side.